Hello coloring friends, welcome to this video. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get started on the From Holland with Love series. This is gonna be a chatty work in progress, color with me kind of thing. As you can see, I already have a setup here. We're gonna be working in Urban Anna's book, Urban Coloring. It's the French edition. It's called Les Jolies Vitrines d'Anna. And we're gonna work on this page, which is a canal house in Amsterdam. Here you can see the example that Astrid, Urban Anna, painted herself. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to recreate it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the same colors or not. We'll see how far we get with this in this video. But the idea is that, well, this is a book with wonderful paper. It can hold wet medium very well too. That's why I got the French version. I really like it. So I'm gonna try a bit of watercolor because she is a watercolor artist, and then we're gonna go in with pencils. So we'll see how far we go. And I have an idea of, as you can see, she doesn't have anything in the background, but I was thinking to try to use something. Again, I have some ideas in my mind, but we'll see what actually ends up on paper. Meanwhile, I've got a tea here with me. I hope you can grab something as well. Make yourselves comfortable while you're watching. Let me sip. Really nice tea. And before we get started, I just wanted to share a few updates with you because I've been a little busy. I've been trying to just enjoy being creative. So I've done coloring as well, but I also got back into watercolor a little bit, and I wanted to show you something that I came up with. So this is just watercolor play, really. I've been really inspired by an artist, a watercolor artist on YouTube. She's Canadian. Her name is Alison Durant. She has a YouTube channel, and I find her so inspiring. So this was really inspired by her. I did this while watching one of her YouTube videos. Just watercolors on paper. And then I had this idea, and let me show you what I mean. Again, this is a small booklet I have with watercolor paper. And what I tried to do is paint the background using watercolor. Let me just show you some empty background. So I've done this with different colors. So this is green and yellow, and I try to combine them, if you will. As you can see, there's a gradient here, and this red with titanium buff, I want to say. And there's some sort of orange, and well, a few others, as you see. What I was thinking is to put some quotes on them. So here, for example, I I have these little stamps with and then I put them on ink, and then I wrote this basically with the stamps. Would I speak to a friend the way I speak to myself? And well, my answer was no. I'd be much kinder to a friend than I am to myself. So it's these small things that just come to mind, or maybe quotes that I want to use as inspiration. I thought I would write them on these backgrounds that I paint, just a way to express myself and share it with others. This I got from a book I'm reading at the moment. It's called Self-Compassion. Perhaps you've heard of it, written by Dr. Kristin Neff. Yeah, and it really made me think we're so much harder on ourselves, and we really criticize ourselves, and we expect all these things, and we're not very nice, or yeah, in general, right? Or as nice as we could be to ourselves and supportive, just as we would be with a friend. So this is where this came from. And here I have two quotes, one from Thomas Edison. When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this: you have not. Which is a good reminder, isn't it? And this one from Sarah Trenholm, she wrote a textbook on communication, which I used to teach in one of my courses. And she says that we're much more similar than we are different. And that's also such a good reminder, especially when we see things we disagree with on a personal level, and we feel so distant from each other as people, but then we forget all the similarities as well, and there's so many of those. So I thought this is a good reminder for me to maybe judge a little less, try to understand and empathize a little more, and all that good stuff, which is hard to do, huh? But important. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. And then one last thing before we go into coloring is this, which I finished today. And again, this is me following a tutorial of Alison Durant, same one that inspired me to create this one. She does this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous landscapes intuitively with watercolor, very similar to this. So this, the background, she sort of did this in a video, and I tried to follow along with her, and then she started doing some of these marks as well. This is with acrylic I did, and she stopped there, and then I just added a few more here and there, on these dots as well, and this. So the background is watercolor, and then this is acrylic pen tool art, this is a white Posca, and this is Faber-Castell with India ink, pit artist pen, this one, yeah, and the white is Posca. So I just find her style to be gorgeous and so inspiring, and I just did this on a Sunday afternoon, feeling inspired by her. So thanks so much for all the inspiration, Alison. I warmly recommend you check her out. Okay, and now on to our page from Urban Anna's book. So what I was thinking is to get started with the background. And for that, I wanted to use watercolor, which is where you see this here, and where you see some water, and then here are some brushes to use. I'm not sure how this is gonna go on. It might end in disaster, but then so be it. I can try a few new things. So I'm looking through my brushes, trying to decide which ones to use, a number 8 and another number 8. Maybe this will come in handy, which is has a little bit of an edge, a little curve, I mean. Maybe this is of number 4. Let's just see how far we get with this. And I feel very inspired to use an orange. What you see here is a swatch chart of these watercolors here. I was thinking to use this transparent orange from Winsor & Newton, which I find absolutely gorgeous. It's right here. So let's just give that a try. Maybe with this one. This is a number 8. So let's just try that. So with the color, wake it up. A little nervous to do this. I may botch the whole thing. There's one way to find out. Maybe I can use this one here, wake it up as well. Okay. To slowly get up. I see it's quite diluted. That's alright. Just want to get these edges, and then I can go in with more pigment, more color. And yes, the paper is very nice for watercolor actually. It's quite thick and it's also just a little bit grainy, which I think is great. It's great for this. I'm gonna move the tea out of the way. And just keep going up with the watercolor. Actually, I think I'm gonna get a different brush now. Let me see, this number 4, Raphael. I really love it. Let me wet it. Let's give it a try. Yeah, this one holds much more water. I don't know if I really want that, because I need to be precise, but it gives it sort of a nice flow, because what I want is to sort of have this disappear into the horizon, if that makes sense. A little bit like this. Not exactly what I had in mind, but close. Well, let's see how that looks. Yeah, a little bit like this. And then crossing over to the other side. Let's get some more water. There's all of the watercolor that's in here. Here we go. It's harder to do on this side because I'm right-handed. Let me see, do I dare to go with my left hand? I'm not a lefty. First tries, everyone. Always the hardest. That's also when you learn. Toop, 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 toop. Bit more pigment. Never hurt anyone. Okay, let me try to be very careful here. There we go. Getting there. Picking up some more pigment. Oh. It's hard. It's hard to use my left hand when I'm used to using my right hand for precision work. But here I am giving it a try. It's not bad, I have to say, for a righty. There we go. And then here, let me go back. And then let's try to do the same here. We'll see how this looks in the end. Try to put a bit more pigment on this side. Just make it a little bit darker. Okay, so that's it for the background for now. I really hope something will come out of it. Let me clean the brushes quickly, dry them up, and put them to the side. All right, so what are we gonna do now? Maybe I can use watercolor for the grain as well, for these little plants here. And for that, let's bring up the color palette. I could use sap green. There's also an olive green, and there's a ter vert. This one's from Van Gogh, this one too, and this one from Winsor & Newton. I think I'll go for sap green. So let's start with that one. It's this one right here. So let me wake up the watercolor with some water. And try to put some of this beautiful green pigment on these little plants. Like this. Got quite a bit of water on the brush. Maybe I need to get rid of a bit of it. Let me pour the water from this one onto this one. As you can see, the one's also already lighter. Yeah, okay, nice. And then what I could do now is pick up just a little bit of this olive green that's sitting next to the other one, and just dip it in for some variety. I don't know if you'll actually see anything. But one can try. And look how much water this paper is able to hold, to withstand, to take. You know what I mean? Okay, and then we're gonna go with a wonderful gray on the planters. Let me see, where's the gray? What should we do? I've got this graphite and Payne's gray. Maybe a mix. Why not? Okay, so let me wake this one up. And then let me also wake up Payne's gray. Just a bit of a blue gray actually. It's quite pretty. Let me mix it with this. Right here. And maybe this brush is too big for this. So let me try a smaller brush. This one's a size 0 from Van Gogh. Teeny tiny. Let's see if it works out. Whoop. Definitely better. So a bit like this, a bit like that. Trying to leave a little bit of white space between because I see it here as well. And then I think would be nice for the pavement, if you will, is to combine this gray thing with some green. I think the olive green would be best suited for this. Let me just take that and try to mix it all here. Look how pretty. I love it. Let's pick up all that green. Clean up this pan and bring it in here. Oh, that's very pretty. Just a very dark, saturated or desaturated. I don't know which one, but anyway, it's dark green. I think it's beautiful. And let me just place it liberally on paper. This is the brush size for. Okay, like this, and then take a bit more. Perfect. Something like that. Looks good, I think. Let me know. Yeah, so we've got this. What I could do with this gray, because I see the railing is also of a similar color. So what I could do is I could take a bit more of this Payne's gray, mix it with this to make it a little bit darker, well, a lot darker, if you will. And then go in with the size 0 brush, the smaller one I used before. Put this on the brush and go in here. Slowly but surely. By the way, this can all be pencil as well, absolutely. I just started with watercolor because I wanted to do this background thingy. So now it's sort of easy just to continue with it. And the watercolors that I'm using, they're tubes, of course, and I put them here. And they're a mix. I'm using several brands. I'm using Van Gogh, which is a Dutch, well, it's from the Dutch brand Royal Dollens. And they do the Van Gogh paints, which is very good quality, at a relatively affordable price for the quality. I think they're a bit above student grade in their quality. And I'm also using Winsor & Newton. And Winsor & Newton, I have a mix of two brands, I think. Winsor & Newton Cotman, which is their student grade, which is comparable to Van Gogh, I guess. And Winsor & Newton Professional, which is, well, their professional line. So the quality is supposed to be a bit better with that ones, but really, for what I do, I think they're all great. And they're really, really, really good quality, all of them. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with using them. Now, what else is really dark in here? I see the windows as well, so I could do that. Well, not the windows themselves, but I guess what's behind the windows seems to be quite dark. So let me just fill them in. plenty of this color. Might as well use it. Oh, put quite a bit on my brush there, you see? Anyway, how are you all doing? How's the new year treating you? 2025? I mean, I'm recording this late January, so I feel like we're almost in February anyway, which is crazy because only a few weeks ago we were still in 2024. How was the whole year of last year for you, and how was the start of the new year? I hope it's a good one for you, or that it will be a good one, or that you make it a good one. I've got a resolution for myself, if you will, which is that I like to be kinder. I like to be kinder to myself. I like to be kinder to other people. I think the world needs a little bit of kindness, and me too. And while I'm waiting to receive it from everyone else, I thought, you know what, let me just start with myself, trying to offer it whenever possible to others. Maybe the rest will follow, or maybe some things are in my control and many aren't, but some are, and maybe that's the best place to start, with myself and with what I can control and what I can do. So that's one of the things I've set for myself as goals this year, to be kind whenever I can, and compassionate, I guess. I mean, it's a range of words, adjectives, emotions that encompass this approach, this attitude, I guess. But for me, I just like to be more understanding and empathetic, kinder. I'd like to listen more and react less. I'd like to be more compassionate, and I that's when I discovered, Kristin Neff and her books, actually books plural, on self-compassion. So I want to read those. I've started reading already. And what she says in one of her books that she wrote with someone else, Christopher Germer, I think. They're both American. And he's a therapist, I think, and she's a researcher. And they wrote this book on a workbook, actually, on self-compassion. And I read there that you can basically split it into 3 components. One being self-kindness, so just being kind to yourself. So I guess just like talking to yourself in hard times as you were talking to a friend. So I guess be nicer to yourself, just as you would be with a friend in need who needs a good word. Have your own back, I guess. And then another one is mindfulness. So just be present, and I find mindfulness in so many things, not just in their research, but it's like it pops up everywhere in research that really mindfulness is really a way to be happier, to ground yourself in the present, not to worry as much. So it decreases also worry and anxiety, which I find quite promising. So yeah, being mindful. And the third component, I think they call it common humanity or shared humanity. Maybe it's common humanity. Anyway, it's this idea, or at least how I've understood it, that you think you're alone and isolated and you're the only one with these problems, whatever those problems might be. But the point that I'm taking from that is that actually we're all human. We're all subject to the same human experience. We all experience hardships or problems or challenges. Actually, we're never really alone in our problems. We might experience them slightly differently, or we might have different problems, and they might come at a different time for each of us. But we have that in common, the challenges of being a person, of being human. And we have this common thing. And this makes me also think of the quote from Sarah Trinholm that I showed you at the beginning of this video, that we're all much more similar than we think. And the fact that we have this shared humanity is actually quite reassuring, I find. So yeah, maybe I'm not doing it justice how I explain it, but this is what I've taken from it so far, and I'm only at the start of the book. And I very much appreciate that perspective, because it makes me feel like I'm not alone. Like, we are all on our own paths, and we all experience challenges, and we all need to confront our feelings and our fears, or those hard feelings. Everyone has them, just in different situations, at different points in time, but we share that. We have that in common. None of us, or maybe most of us, is immune to suffering, to pain, to challenges. But yeah, this is what makes us human, I guess. So I look forward to reading more and absorbing the information that Kristen Neff and Christopher Germer, or Germer, I'm not sure how to say it, have to share with us in their books. If you know anything about the topic, I'd love to hear from you. I find this very interesting. Yeah, I think any sort of insights that help us, people in general, suffer less is great and welcome, because there's pain in life, and I don't think we can completely avoid it in our lives, but the suffering can also be optional. And what I like is a little less suffering where it's not needed. So if self-compassion or self-kindness or mindfulness, or this idea of shared humanity, makes it easier, alleviates some suffering, even if the pain might still be there, why not, right? But here I'm talking about things that have nothing to do with coloring, while I keep going with this gray, with this Payne's gray mixed with just a tiny bit of green still, and that sort of graphite color, going through every window here. So I'm almost done with that. And what I think I'll do is I'll leave this part right here for now. Oh, no, after I finish this. Maybe I'm thinking maybe I make all of them gray. Yeah, and then I'll leave it at that after I'm done with the windows. And maybe we'll pick it up again next time in a video. I would love to hear from you if you'd like me to continue doing sort of a color along for this particular page as well. Would you like to follow along? Are you following along right now with me as I'm speaking? Do you have any other preference? And also, if you haven't seen my video about what this From Holland with Love series is about, I'm going to put a link to that video, because I'd love to hear from you which books you have and are excited to color in, or which of those pages that I've shown you actually like or would like me to color in first, because I very much love to to listen to that. If you have a preference, please let me know. I'd be happy to take it into consideration with my plans. I just picked this one for now because it spoke to me. It's Amsterdam. What a nice way to start this series, with Amsterdam, right? The capital city, so famous around the world. It's such a beautiful city, by the way, and maybe you know it for its less savory things, but that's just such a tiny part of the whole city, and its vibrancy and its culture and its food and its multicultural background, and there's so much to see and enjoy in Amsterdam. And the architecture is also beautiful. Such houses like this, you see them everywhere. Taking a walk on the canals is absolutely gorgeous. So if you're ever in Amsterdam, I really recommend you do that. Yeah, it's a great experience to have, great travel experience to have, if you're interested in that. So yeah, what a better way to start this series than with coloring a house, typical canal house from Amsterdam. So this is what we're doing. Let me also just finish up with this. Like that. And then this, I guess. Yeah. And as it dries up, you can see that graphite, just a little bit of shine, of sparkle. Absolutely love it. Yeah, this is looking really nice already. Let me also use this last bit of color to put some shade here. And then this here, a line here. I also see it here. So all the way here. Let me pick it up a little more. All the way here. And then I also see it under these windows. Where else? Here a little bit. Here as well. So. Here. Actually all over. And then here. Guess I'll do it for all of them. This is coming out beautifully, I think. There's a little bit of shade. Not too precious about it. I've learned that's best, not to get stressed out otherwise. What am I missing? That I see in what Astrid did in her illustration. Just here, tiny bit. Oop. Here as well. A little bit here too. Make sure I get this right. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. I hope I'm not missing anything. Well, and if I am, that's okay. I'll come back to it next time. But yes, I'll leave it here for now. I hope this was a good start to this color with me series, work in progress, and chatting. Thank you for joining me so much. I so much appreciate you being here, watching these videos, allowing me to share the joy of coloring with you through these videos. And I can't wait to see you in another video next time. And do let me know if you'd like me to continue this on camera or not. Okay, bye bye!